Good evening, everybody. Today we'll have a comparative analysis between Bharatiya Sakshya Adhyanam, that means the earlier Adhiniyam, that is the earlier version of Indian Evidence Act. In place of earlier version of Indian Evidence Act, this particular nomenclature has come into picture now. So, as usual, not very many changes that have taken place. If you see the comparative analysis, I mean, only thing wherever British, UK, Queen, England, these names are there in the examples or illustrations, they try to modify that and then make it into President of India, Indian Parliament, that kind of a thing in illustrations mostly you will see. And wherever some telegram messages and all, I mean, they are there, they have been deleted. And wherever this Jammu Kashmir issue is there, no, that is also been excluded. 1 second. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So today the comparison is now between the Indian Evidence Act and the the new version of Indian Evidence Act, that is Bharatiya Sakshya Abhiniyam. Adhiniyam, not Abhiniyam, Adhiniyam. Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, that is the new name now. Now, as I said, some of the words like Jammu Kashmir and all, we have done with that, and it is now part of the thing. We cannot just say that excluding Jammu Kashmir and all. So that wording has been removed now, and especially if you see section 82, there is a presumption clause. It says presumptions as to document admissible in England without proof of seal or signature. Now that colonial regiment is not there, so they thought this has no relevance now. So they said that can be done with. Now they said British colonial authority is no more there now. However, subsequent to India achieving independence, this particular section of legal provision has become obsolete because there is no Queen, there is no England ruling over us. So hence they said it is now obsolete and it is more irrelevant. So let us do away with section 82 is what is the concept. So one is Jammu Kashmir thing, the other one is about presumption where England and Ireland are included. So they have removed that section. And coming to 88 section, there is again a presumption as to telegram messages. Now that is also been done away. Now the court may presume that messages and all telegraphic office and all that is been given. Now what they say is the message concept, telegram message service, once it was of course indispensable means of communication. Now they say it has also become quite obsolete with mobiles on these days, in the contemporary era. Emails are there, and then landline telecommunications are better, and the widespread availability of mobiles are there. So they felt that telegram service have now been disbanded in the year 2013. So the last telegram was sent to Rahul Gandhi in July 14th, 2013. So absolutely, it has also become quite obsolete because the telegram service itself have become so obsolete because we are in electronic era, and then we know how to communicate better in through electronic means. So they said that can also be done away with. So we have seen 82, 88. Now they also say that section 113 of Evidence Act. So it is proof of cessation of territory. It talks about proof of cessation of territory. Now cessation of territory is not permissible by law as the Government of India Act 1935 has been repealed. Hence the following section can be deleted. So So that's what they said. 113 is also now proof of cessation and all. It is, relating to the somewhat Government of India Act 1935, so it has no relevance now. So they said even that is deleted. Now coming to the 166 provision of Indian Evidence Act. So far we have said 82, 88 and then 113. 88 talking about telegram services, then 82 is talking about the England Ireland proof of those documents and all, and 113 is talking about the cessation of territory. So that also has no relevance, hence they have proposed or they have done away with it, and then now that is also deleted now. So coming to 166 Evidence Act, power of jury or assessor to put questions. That is what is given. Now we know that system of trial by jury has been abolished way back in 1973 itself. Can anybody tell me what was the landmark judgment after which we have done away with the system of jury? What was the section? What was the, not section, what was the case? Yes? आज शिवराज साहब दिखाई नहीं दे रहे? Is he there?
Present ma'am.
हाँ नहीं ठीक है. Your icon is reflected as C, so I am afraid because all others they have displayed their name and your this thing is it is appearing as C. So please बोलिए. So what I am trying to inquire from you is that earlier we used to have jury system, isn't it? So respectable people of the locality or people with prudence, such people we used to call them jury, apart from the judge we used to have panel of jury also. Now after one particular incidents like Nirbhaya has happened, like that whenever such sensational things happen they become landmark cases, isn't it? So after which landmark case the system of jury has been done away with. Otherwise earlier we used to have jury, gentlemen of the jury. In the movies also we used to hear this word. No? Any idea?
No idea ma'am. No idea.
This is a very famous case called Mathura case. Mathura case happened in Maharashtra only. Mathura case happened in Maharashtra only. So that is a very famous case, and in that for the first time they have removed this jury system. Not only that, and they have given a different little elaborate definitions for rape. Now the contention in that case, because that may also come as a question in the competition, so I am trying to elaborate that particular case, not in so many details, but then the facts of the case are that this lady is a very poor lady belonging to a very low state of the society, being a Harijan girl and all, and then on some pretext of a petty offence there was a case going on, or maybe her husband was asked to give some witness. Being an eyewitness in some case, he was called to the police station, and then he was also there. Then he was detained in the police station, I don't know, for some reasons for 2 days, and then not knowing the whereabouts or what has happened to the husband, why the police have detained him for 2-3 days. So she was panicked, and she went to the police station. Now till late night also there were no chances that this man was relieved. So maybe after midnight the husband of that Mathura, she was asked to be there, and then while husband was relieved. So after that, one after the other, the constables they protest that if you don't surrender and all, we will do some harm to your husband, kind of a thing they have said. And then there was no other option for the lady than to passively submit to them, and then both of them, one of the constable raped her, and the other one tried to attempt rape, but he was fully drunk that he could not rape her. So that was the story, and then the lower court, they said since there is consent, because anything, any sexual activity with consent doesn't amount to rape. So taking that as because there were no injuries present on her body, so that means she passively submitted and there was consent element, so rape cannot be made out. That's what they said. And in the higher court also they said no, there are no injuries, there is no resistance that is being offered by the lady, so we can say that there is a implied consent in that, and then hence the activity, since it is with consent, so there is, you cannot make out a case of rape against the accused. That's what they said. And then like Nirbhaya also, there were also a lot of hue and cry from the public. Then of course it has become a very landmark case, and later on they said, on the prosecutrix there is no need, there is no compulsion that she should have some injuries. Only if there are injuries that amount to only resistance, only then you can say that there is no consent and all. So a lot of amendments also have happened in sections. Rape definitions have been changed. Then any consent, even if you obtain under pressure, under coercion, under threat, that you kill somebody in whom that lady is interested, and also the rape definition has been exhaustively elaborated after this case of Mathura versus state of, I think, Maharashtra. Then the other remarkable thing that has happened in case of Mathura is they have also done away with the jury system. So these are the two important things that have happened in Mathura case, and with regard to the offence of rape. That you have to remember. Mathura is the case. Mathura is the name of the girl. Then so since we don't have any jury system here, so 113 it says, proof of not 113, sorry, 166, power of jury or assessor to put questions. Now the system of trial by jury has been abolished, as I told you, way back in 1973, and the context of assessor specific legislative measures have been enacted to comprehensively address their roles. So therefore they say it is proposed that 161 be expunged from the legal framework. And Nanavati case was the, of course that was the last case where the final jury trial was held in India. This may also be asked as one of the questions in the competition. Which was the last case where the system of jury was there? So you should say that it is Nanavati's case. I think Nanavati case is that culpable homicide and murder. In that they have clearly mentioned whether the act of Nanavati is culpable homicide and murder. You all recollect, you know this case, Nanavati's case? That is also a very landmark case.
Yeah, madam. Navy officer case.
हाँ, नेवी ऑफिसर का वो वाइफ जो है, इनका कोलिग जो है वो अडल्ट्री में था उनके वाइफ से, and then when he knows that I will leave her and you please marry her and then you be with her. He also gone to the extent of requesting his colleague that way. So that he has not yielded. How can you say all these things? And उनका भी थोड़ा एक कर दिए. So his ego was hurt, and then he went there and collected his weapon and then mercilessly killed him. So they said, it's a fit of anger, and then he has lost his conscience, this and that. They wanted to bring the case under culpable homicide not amounting to murder. So in that case it was the distinction between 299 and 300 was clearly brought out, and probably that is also famous because after that Nanavati's case, now we have completely, that was the last case probably where we have used jury system. After that, after this Mathura case, and it is also called Tukaram. Tukaram is the name of the constable accused. Tukaram versus state of Maharashtra. Or you can remember that as Mathura because the name of the girl is that. So either way you can remember that. So that was the case where jury system has been done away with, and the last case where we have used the jury system is Nanavati's case. So these things you have to remember now. So these are the major things or changes that you can see. So going by the sections, if you see, the short title, extent and all, I mean, only thing is they have included the name as Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam. So that is the name given. And Indian Navy, some of the Air Force and all, they have deleted these things. And of course, in old version of Evidence Act also, you see that section 2 has been repealed, and 3 has been used as the interpretation clause. And here also there is a reduction or number of cases where they said, instead of giving them a separate section, they said as a subclause under section 2. So normally section 2 deals with all definitions. So whatever number that we give in bracket, that becomes the subclass or the subsection. So like words like court, relevant, fact in issue, all that they have become now subsections, proved, disproved, whatever definitions we have under Evidence Act. So all of them have been brought under the general category of section 2, where subsections and clauses are dealing with these definitions. Only thing is, in illustrations for fact, if you see the definition of fact and all, which is spelled out in section 3 of the old Indian Evidence Act, you see that in the illustration they have used everywhere the examples, they have used man, M-A-N, man. So now we are talking more about the general neutrality. So now man is now replaced by person. So person includes man and woman. So that's the reason why they said wherever the word man is appearing, then it should be replaced by person. That's what is the only change in this section. Now fact in issue also, they said there is a in the illustration that is given, they are again using the word unsoundness of mind. So unsoundness of mind is little vague word. So what they did is, wherever illustration is talking about unsoundness of mind, they have replaced it with the mental illness. Mental illness is the word which has been used in place of the unsoundness of mind. Now documents are also again given definition in the old Evidence Act as section 3. Now it is now figuring as section 2, 1 and subclause 3. Document is now explained there. Now one more, this is added more standard for considering electronic evidence or digital records as print, and then the digital records produced for the inspection of the court, and such documents are also called documentary evidence. So they are trying to give more validity and enforceability to the electronic evidence and then digital records. So that is given a wider definition. Evidence including the documents and then oral thing, that is the definition. But then to give a more, to accommodate the electronic records and then digital evidence, they try to elaborate that. So that is one thing you have to remember, because now we are in electronic era. So wherever we say documents and then records, wherever the paper-based document and all are appearing, now we also have to include emails, messages, these things also we may have to include in that. So electronic record on emails. Now what is being added? An electronic record on emails, server logs, documents on computers, laptop or smartphones, messages, websites, location evidence, voicemail messages stored in digital evidences are all documents. Now what you observe here is the definition of document has become wider. Not only it is wider in terms of including the electronic documents, but then the definition of electronic document is also been, or electronic record or digital record is also been widened. So it now includes emails, server logs, then laptop, whatever is there, computers, smartphones, messages, including websites and also voice messages. You see, the definition of document has taken a very, very wider sense. Now, there are some things which have been completely deleted. One such thing is under disproved. You know that there are things disproved, proved, and then not proved. You know that these things are there in the section, Old Evidence Act. Now, what they said is the fact is said to be disproved. That particular word has been deleted now in the new BSB. Am I making sense? Is this clear? Yes, I am not getting any response. Am I clear in these aspects? Are you able to understand anything?
Yes, ma'am.
No, because online classes are very difficult unless there is response. Otherwise, I don't mind explaining this. There is nothing that very difficult to understand. But only thing is we need to now, it takes time. It will not happen in one day because we are familiar with the old acts and then we were mastering it with sections by heart. So now it becomes a little difficult for us to remember with sections. At least we have to understand what is being removed, what is being deleted, why it is being deleted, and if something is added or inserted, what is the purpose of such an insertion. These things only we need to understand. Now, as I said, provided proved and all disproved, उसमें तो disproved word तो निकाल दिए. Then again, what is the major change if you see? Now, wherever these words are appearing, like advocate, for advocate they have used certain words. Now vakil, attorney, some words are used. So wherever these words vakil and all are appearing, so advocate is replaced. The word advocate is replacing the earlier ones. And in examples, especially wherever they have used Calcutta and all, they have put in place of Calcutta Chennai, and then wherever Lahore is appearing, they said Ladakh. So in the illustrations, if you see, these are the words. Now Government of India is now replaced with state, and wherever you see Calcutta, of course we know we have given a different name for that, KOLKAT, Kolkata. And for Bombay, we know now it is more popularly known as Mumbai. And of course Kabul, wherever Kabul word is there, now they have replaced it with Singapore. So these are as far as the illustrations are concerned. Only in the illustrations, wherever such words are appearing, they have removed those and then they have put the other states' names. Then you see that some sections have been removed and they have been adjusted into the other sections, like if you see 22A, 23, as far as oral admissions are concerned, there is a clubbing of that, and in old IEA the section is 24, which is talking about the confessions. Now it says, the definition says, now in the new act it is becoming 24 section is becoming 22 section. Now what it says is confession caused by inducement, threat or promise when irrelevant in criminal proceedings. That means whenever a confession is being caused by inducing or by threatening the person who is making the confession, or with a false promise, then such things, such confessions, they say, are irrelevant. And especially in criminal proceedings, they are irrelevant. That's what it says. Now, the word coercion is also added. Earlier, the word coercion, COERSION, this is also a kind of a pressure, intimidation, pressure. So that is now being added. And in 23 also you see the wording again, barrister, pleader, attorney, vakil, these words are now they have been removed, and then a single word called advocate is been included. Wherever these words are appearing, they have removed this and then they have included the word advocate there. And wherever some coins and all is there, when nobody is using coins and all, so wherever they say counterfeit coins and all, now the word coin is replaced by currency, because there is no point, I mean no fool will go for a counterfeiting of a coin which will, a 1 rupee coin, a 20 rupee coin, where the amount that he has to spend is coming up to 40 rupees, who will be doing this kind of a thing? So ultimately the counterfeiter or the perpetrator will be interested in getting profit. So when he is incurring losses in preparation of fake notes or fake coin, why will he do that? So wherever coin is there, now they have said in place of coin we have to use the word currency. That's what it says. And major thing is, confession, inducement and all, they have used, added another word called coercion also. That also means normally these words come as tandem, like inducement, threat, promise, and coercion also normally will be there. And earlier maybe for some reasons it was not there. Now they have inserted this word in the new act. Most of the sections, if you see that they remain almost the same, not much change,
Only number.
because the reduction in number is there, because they try to delete some clauses, some sections and all, So wherever, like for example, 41 and all, you see the word tribunal is also added. Tribunal earlier was not there. They try to introduce the word, insert the word tribunal over there. Otherwise, the content and the text of the section remains the same. Now, wherever again, 47 and all, if you see opinion as to handwriting when relevant, under that they have used in the illustration London. So wherever London, Calcutta, these names now we have changed. So they have included the new names there. Then now if you see again 48, old version of Evidence Act, now that is been replaced with 42. The opinion as to existence of right or custom when relevant. So the word right is now replaced by general. It is replaced by general. Right is replaced by general. Now other modifications, if you see, the major one is now 47, old version 47. Now the new act, it is 52. 57 is now replaced as 52 or read as 52 now. Facts of which court must take judicial notice. They have given a series of things that of which you need not again prove anything, because they are judicially taken notice of. So in that the wording that is used in the old Evidence Act is must. Facts of which court must take judicial notice is the wording. Now in the new act, they have replaced the term must with shall. That means it is now mandatory. Earlier it was only obligated, it was only optional. Now it has become, when you use the word shall, that implies that it is, the court shall take into consideration. That means they shall take into notice. So that is the replacement. Otherwise, most of the clauses that are given are by and large the same. Then again, electronic records has been eliminated. Now, if you see section 59, which is now read as 54, you see proof of facts by oral evidence, where they have also specifically used again electronic, because since electronic records and all are dealt in a separate section in detail, so again it will be redundant if the word again electronic records is also included in the oral evidence. So that is the reason why they have deleted the word of electronic records. So that word has been eliminated. Again, if you see 60, section 60, which is talking about the oral evidence, it says oral evidence must be direct. Now again here also, if you see, the emphasis is on shall, must be replaced with shall. That is to say, is replaced with if it relates to, if it relates to, it is deleted, and also is being replaced by further. So these are the, I mean, what you can understand from this is that the proof of the contents of the documents, in place of must, they said it should be, the oral evidence must be direct, they said, but it shall be direct. So in place of must, they are using the word shall, making it a mandatory section, mandatory clause. Now, secondary evidence is dealt in the old section, old version of Indian Evidence Act under 63. Now it is been given 58 section, number 58 is given to that section. Now it is talking about the secondary evidence. So whenever, of course, we say that document, if you want to prove that as a primary evidence, that document itself has to be produced. So you cannot just, contents cannot, you cannot come and read the content and then say that this is the document. I have a document at my home and these are the contents of the document. You cannot give a oral version of the document. So if you have to speak about the document, or if you want to say something about the document, you have to produce the original document itself. Only then it becomes the primary evidence. Otherwise, you may have to give reasons, justified reasons to the court, to the satisfaction of the court, that why you are not capable of bringing that primary evidence, and in place of primary evidence, why are you producing a secondary evidence? What are the circumstances, situations which necessitated you to produce a secondary document, secondary evidence, and why should we oblige that? So this justification has to be given. Now it only says that again, the section 63, that is the secondary evidence. Now oral admission, written admission, evidence of a person who has examined a document, the origin of which consists of numerous accounts of other documents which cannot conventionally be examined in court, and who is skilled in the examination of such documents. That is about the secondary evidence, and added 6, they have added clause 6, 7, 8. So they have added these things. Now the other thing is about 64. When you talk of 64, that old Evidence Act, now it is read as section 59, and it says proof of document by primary evidence. As I said, must is replaced by shall. Now there is one new addition in the form of 61, section 61. It says that admissibility of electronic or digital record. Nothing in the Adhiniyam shall apply to deny the admissibility of an electronic or digital record in the evidence on the ground that it is an electronic or digital record, and such record shall have the same legal effect, validity and enforceability as paper records. So this is what is being added as a new section, which is talking about the admissibility of electronic as well as the digital record. So this is one new section that we need to understand. And one more thing is, as I said, wherever the wording queen, crown, that kind of wording is there, so they have done away with that, especially if you see 76, 78, old Evidence Act 78 now has become section 77 in the new Adhiniyam. So it says proof of other official documents. The wordings are, see, the central government in any of its departments or of the crown representative is replaced. Now as I said, wherever the word crown, queen, England, these things are there, now they are replacing. So what is the replacement? Central government in any of its ministries and departments. where the word crown representative has been used, they have done away with that and they have replaced that word with central government in any of its ministries and departments or union territory administration. And there also they have removed Her Majesty by Privy Council. They have removed that, and Majesty's government. Now they have replaced the Majesty, Her Majesty with the President of India or the Governor of the state or the Administrator. So Lieutenant Governor of Union Territory. So London Gazette they have used somewhere, and the London Gazette now has been replaced with Official Gazette. So wherever these words, England, London, Crown, Prince, Privy Council, all that, which are reminiscents of our colonial legacy, they were so fed up with that word, so they said we don't want any more those words. So wherever such words are appearing, so let us have our own words like President, Governor, Lieutenant, or Ministries, Department, Union Territory, will use such words. So they have replaced that with the, and wherever they say Gazette, so they have used some Gazette, London Gazette, so we are using Official Gazette. Whenever we say that orders will appear in the Gazette, we say Official Gazette. So there also they are using the word Official Gazette. And wherever, of course, Jammu Kashmir thing is there, and they have also, I mean, it's not an exclusion, it's also now included. Then you see the major change again here. Now 81, old version 81, now it becomes 80. Presumptions as to gazettes, newspapers, private acts of the parliament and other documents. So now if you see there also the word, the London Gazette, any of the government gazette or any colony, dependency, British Crown and all, I mean they are now Queen's printer has been, these are removed, and then private act of parliament is also deleted. So wherever these words are there, they have just removed those words. Then again, if you see section 82 in the old section, now it has been deleted completely. Section 82 is completely deleted. Yes, some message you are leaving, Thakur? So other things regarding the section will, the Evidence Act we'll see later, because some of the medical legal things also I just wanted to discuss, and firearms also we thought we'll discuss. Firearms in detail anyway, some other time we'll discuss, but then prima facie some basic things we'll try to discuss. So you want me to discuss first the firearms, then later on the other medical legal things? Firearm injuries and all. So now, are you all aware of the word ricochet bullet? What exactly is the meaning of that? Ricochet bullet?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
Deflection of a bullet. Intermediate, if any bullet it's intermediate target, so the direction, it will change the direction.
Now, what is the medical legal or the evidentiary value or the investigative clue that we can get when a ricochet bullet or ricochet mark is available in the scene? Because of the ricochet bullet, you see some ricochet marks there, isn't it? So what is the significance of those marks as far as the investigation is concerned? It only means that, as you rightly said, bullet before striking body, there is some intermediate hard object, so this bullet is hitting that, and then either it gets deflected or in the process it also may get deformed, isn't it? Once it strikes a very hard subject, it is also going to deform, isn't it? And then after that it is striking the body, causing more extensive wound of the entrance with less power of penetration. So this is the characteristic feature. And then you can also say that the shooter is not a very good shooter. He is aiming at a particular target and he is not able to achieve the purpose because it is not going in the direction which he desired, rather it is going in a different direction, in the process hitting a very hard object, and then it is getting deformed in the process, and once it is deformed, then it is going to hit the body with less penetration power. That is about the ricochet bullet. And what is tandem bullet? Any idea?
Two bullets, one bullet already is available in the chamber, so second bullet is taking the first bullet.
So it only says, it is also called as a piggy tail bullet. It is also called piggy tail bullet. Tandem bullet is otherwise called as PIGGY, piggy tail, TAIL tail bullet. Now the concept is that cartridge remains inside the barrel, not the bullet, but then the cartridge remains inside the barrel, and if the gun is used without cleaning it, most of the time the criminals, they may not bother to clean the barrel or maintain it. Otherwise in normal and this thing, it is a practice that every now and then periodically the barrel has to be cleaned, the gun has to be cleaned. But then if it is not cleaned up, you will see that cartridge remains inside the barrel, isn't it? And the second bullet may take out the larger bullet in front of it, So what will happen if the tandem bullet is there and may enter the body, and two bullets may be found in the post-mortem with one wound of entry. So this is what is the anomaly. Now you see only there is one entrance wound, but then you see two bullets being present in the report of the post-mortem and all. So this is where you need to understand that this is an account of the cartridge which got stuck or which remained in the barrel of the gun. So this is what you need to understand about the tandem bullet. Now what is a dum-dum bullet? Any idea?
That is the initial bullet, initial cartridge.
No, that is tandem bullet. I am talking about dum-dum bullet. DUM bullet.
That is projectile से hit होके fragmented हो जाता है.
हाँ, correct. The bullets split before they strike the body, producing disproportionately greater damage. That means whatever damage it is supposed to create, it is creating more than that, more than the normal damage. So that is because, as you said, the bullet is going to split, it is going to become fragmented. Now before they strike the body, and then disproportionately greater damage you will see in such type of a dum-dum bullet. That is what you need to understand. Now as we have discussed, how can you explain one wound of entry with multiple wounds of exit? Is it possible? In what occasions it will be possible? One entry and multiple is, as we have discussed, tandem bullet also it can happen, isn't it? Tandem bullet, or two quick succession bullets are separated, or bullet splits before it exit. So these are three different occasions where you see there is one entry and multiple exit wounds. Now the opposite, that is more than one entry wound and then a single bullet exit wound. How will you explain that?
बाकी बुलेट कहीं से फंस और एक ही बुलेट एक्सिट. मुंह में और some other outing it has come out, vomiting or
this also we have discussed, I think. See, one bullet passed out. One of the bullets, instead of any making any further exit wound, what it comes out, because we have lot of orifices, nose एक है, ear है, mouth है, ऐसा, or anus, it can come out from any of the natural orifices. Orifices माने body का openings जो होता है ना, इसको orifices बोलते हैं. So maybe another bullet has come out through the natural orifice. So that is the reason why you don't see any exit wound over there. So that is one explanation that can be given. That is, one bullet passed out through natural orifices. That means through mouth, through nose, through ears, or through anus. So like that they can come out from the natural orifice. You see that means there is only one bullet, and then you see that there is no exit wound, because they are finding their way through the natural orifices, hence there cannot be any exit wound. See, another peculiar situation, gunshot injury showing wound of entrance but without wound of exit. Can there be that situation? As we have discussed, same thing, coming out natural orifices or deflected by some wound of entrance. So this is also, you have to explain that way only. And what is souvenir bullet? SOUVENIR, souvenir bullet.
Bullet lodged in skull or spine, so it is remaining inside the body.
No, a bullet inside the body with healing track. So it leaves a healing track. That is the phenomenon. It leaves a healing track, is called souvenir bullet. Then so what normally kind of information that you can get by looking at the gunshot injury? What kind of information do you think we'll be able to get as far as the investigation is concerned? Now there is a gunshot injury present. So what kind of information can you gather? Distance of fire, yes.
Weapons, type of weapon.
How can you say the type of weapon?
Because pellets.
Pellets are, you can only at the best say that it is whether it's smooth gun or a rifled one.
Rifled weapon.
How about direction? Can you say something on direction?
Yes. Direction also we can.
Based on wound. Based on what?
Wound, the entry wound. Entry wound.
Suppose if it is circular, elliptical and all, based on the shape of the...
also we can say, if it is a close, we will see a star type mark.
Stellate mark. And then...
the collar, the grease collar, or this...
abraded collar.
Black, yes. That bruises of abrasion. And the gunpowder
Now, suppose there is an assailant immediately after the shooting gets over, killing gets over. Now you could apprehend the criminal assailant. Then what is the immediate test that can be done to show the presence of the pattern? What is that pattern called? What is that residue? GSR, gunshot residue. What is the test? What is the name of the test?
paraffin test.
What is that? What exactly, what component are we going to check in that?
Nitrate.
Nitrate.
Antimony or potassium nitrate, antimony and...
What is the source of these compounds?
Primary,
Explosive, yes.
primer of the explosive.
High explosive.
Explosive to the propellant.
Propellant, yes.
Even the primer also. A primer.
What is projectile? What is the difference between propellant and then the projectile?
Propellant is explosive, low explosive, and the projectile is a bullet.
Bullet, correct. So entire thing is known as cartridge with bullet is called as, it is a live cartridge, isn't it? It is called as, the entire thing is called. So what is the mechanism of firing? What happens? Internal ballistics, external ballistics, and what is the other one?
And terminal ballistics.
Terminal ballistics. In case of human beings, we call that terminal ballistics also as, otherwise called as, terminal is also the terminal After all, what target it is going to hit? It is,
Sorry.
it is human being, isn't it? So human being, what is it creates? What does it create?
Injury.
So injury is otherwise called as wound. So terminal ballistics is also called as wound ballistics.
Wound ballistic.
Because it is going to cause wound on the body, human body. So terminal ballistics can also otherwise called as the wound ballistics. Then what do you understand by pugilistic attitude? What do you understand by that? When will you see this kind of a phenomena?
Pugilistic attitude.
PUGILISTIC.
बॉडी अकड़ जाता है मतलब पर्सन वगैरह में और स्टिफनिंग हो जाता है.
क्यों होता है? क्यों होता है उसमें ऐसा?
नहीं इतना क्लियर.
वो तो ये तो बॉक्सर्स पोज बोलते हैं इसको. बॉक्सिंग करने से कैसा हाथ ऐसा रहता वैसा रहता. दैट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज बॉक्सर एटीट्यूड और फ्यूजिलिस्टिक एटीट्यूड, फेंसर्स एटीट्यूड. 3 नाम से इसको पहचान सकते. इसका 3 नाम है. फ्यूजिलिस्टिक एटीट्यूड भी बोल सकते, इसको बॉक्सर एटीट्यूड भी बोल सकते. क्यों बोले तो पोज इनका ऐसा बॉक्सर जैसा रहता. or it can also be called as fencer's attitude. So especially in burning what will happen, the coagulation of muscle protein happens. मसल में ज़्यादा प्रोटीन रहता, उसका coagulation हो जाता. coagulation का मतलब वो मिल्क ऐसा फटे तो कैसा रहता, coagulate होता ना, वैसा ही हो जाता. वो मसल का जो प्रोटीन अंदर रहता उसका हीट के वजह से क्या होता, ये प्रोटीन coagulation हो जाता. इसीलिए इतना contraction of the muscle of the body resulting in flexation attitude of the body in case of burning. इसीलिए वो हीट के वजह से, बर्निंग में हीट के वजह से जो प्रोटीन जो रहता ये मसल में वो तो एकदम कॉन्ट्रैक्शन हो जाता ताकि ये आदमी ऐसा ही पोज में आ जाता. So that is called a pugilistic attitude. I hope I am clear about that.
Yes.
It is called pugilistic, PUGILISTIC, or boxer or fencer, FENCER. So that means only when there is a burning, complete high degree burning because of coagulation of the protein that is present in the muscle, because there are so many things that are present in the muscle and chief being the protein. Now because of the heat, enormous heat on account of burning, this protein gets coagulated. It becomes hardened. Coagulation का मतलब hardened. It becomes hardened. Now that is the reason why you see the person as if he is ready for fighting, boxer जैसा इनका pose बन जाता, posture. So इसीलिए इसको pugilistic attitude बोलते. Then so there is another term, scald, because that is an account of which type of injury? Mechanical or thermal or electrical? What is that injury?
Thermal, because of hot water. The scald will.
Now what is that? What is the phenomena present over there? They are thermal injury, no doubt. But then how are how will they be distinguished? अब टेम्परेचर कितना होने से वो बनता, वो लिक्विड का कितना होना चाहिए टेम्परेचर, वैसा स्काल्स होने का कितना टेम्परेचर अप्रॉक्सीमेट होना था. 60 to 80 डिग्रीज तो होना चाहिए. और ये इंजरी होता है ड्यू टू बर्न एंड दैट टू मॉइस्ट हीट. गर्म पानी जैसा रहता है, गर्म लिक्विड ऐसा जो होता है ना, इसमें मॉइस्ट होना चाहिए. मॉइस्ट हीट और वेपर ये तो होना चाहिए, उसी से ये बनता है. द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक इज दैट yes, SCALD, scald, scalds they are called, plural is scalds. They are thermal injuries produced on account of burning, ड्यू टू मॉइस्ट हीट और वेपर. वेपर कब बनता है? लिक्विड जो गर्म होता तभी वेपर बनता ना. सो इसमें तो मॉइस्चर भी ज़्यादा होगा. एंड द इंजरी इज दैट बर्निंग इज एन अकाउंट ऑफ वेपर, नॉट एन अकाउंट, बिकॉज जो भी हीट जो बनता लिक्विड से वेपर बने, जब वो लेटेंट हीट ऑफ वेपर बोलते इसको, वो ज़्यादा रहता. See, 100 degrees liquid and 100 degrees vapor. If you see, vapor will cause more damage than the liquid. So, this is an account of the vapor. Hence, you see the formation of scalds. I hope I am clear about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, so we also see something about this. What is the medico-legal importance of bruising? What is the actual pattern of bruising in the first place? How bruises are produced?
Road accident, when it comes with the hard surface.
Now, what is the nature?
Road accident, transportation. It can epidermal skin will be.
Is it?
It will be.
You see the rupture of epidermis there, or lower blood vessels they get split. How will you distinguish that?
Rupture of epidermis only, it can be cured.
What could be the estimation of the weapon? What kind of weapon do you think will cause that type of bruises?
Hard surface.
Blunt weapon.
Yes, it is blunt weapon. Yes. So blunt objects will only leave this kind of bruises. That is very important. Medical legal thing is, by looking at the bruise, you should be able to say the weapon, type of weapon that could have caused the impact. So blunt weapons will normally lead to bruises, and there are also false bruises. The concept of false bruises that are produced by application of some chemicals. See, some chemicals if you apply, they will also leave a kind of a reddish kind of a manifestation. Now, how to distinguish? How to distinguish? The only thing is weapon, as I said, in a true kind of a bruising, you can say the type of weapon, isn't it? Because we know that only blunt weapons can give this kind of an impact. Now, suppose there is a false bruising also. As I said, it can be created with the help of a chemical also, isn't it? Now, how are you going to distinguish the false bruises from that of a true bruising? See, the answer for that is, bruising in the normal course is very regular. It is somewhat raised from the surface. It will not be smooth. It will be somewhat elevated, raised from the surface, and you don't see any blister formation or itching. And it will also be gradually changing as the bruising ages. What will happen? It will not be constantly red and all. It changes its color, isn't it? With the age of the injury. And it is mostly caused by mechanical injury. That is an account of blunt weapon. Now, due to extravasation of the blood, skin testing shows no chemicals. Now, if you test for any, unlike a false bruising which is created with the help of a chemical, and if you test for that chemical, you see chemical test being positive over there. But this is because of mechanical injury that is caused by a blunt weapon, and there is also change in color, as you see. As the bruising is aging, you see that there is a change in color of the bruising. And a chemical thing, you don't see this kind of a thing. And false bruising produced by chemicals not swelled from the surface. That means you don't see this kind of a phenomenon of raised from the surface. Bruising will always give an appearance of little raised surface of the skin. Whereas the false brucey, which is an account of the chemical, you don't see that kind of a swelling. This is one distinguishing feature that you can differentiate. And of course does not show any color change with the age, unlike the true brucey. True brucey, we said, as the brucey ages, as the wound ages, with the time the color also will gradually change, and you see that there is a raised surface of the skin. These things will be absent in the false bruising. And in the color change with the age, and a blister or itching may also be present, because the chemical is strong and then it has produced the discoloration, redness, and any chemical which doesn't suit our skin will give rashes, it will create itching sensation, and when you, on account of itching, when you try to scratch the skin and all, it leaves blisters and all. So that is the difference between a false brucey and then a brucey which is a true brucey. Now, why do you think that the color of the true bruising, it will gradually change? What is the what is the concept there? Why will it change its color? Why the color doesn't remain same? It changes with the age. I mean, there is some fair chance that you, by looking at the color of the brucey, you can roughly say this is the approximate age of the wound. That means these many days must have been passed between the sustaining of the injury and then the present status. You can roughly say the time lapse, isn't it? What is the reason for that? Why it changes its color?
Cells will be new cells will be formed, so the wound will get cured day by day.
Bilirubin
Yes.
get yes, yellow color and like hemo, something like that.
That we'll see what exactly is the chemical present there, but then the color gradually changes. Initially it will be red and turns to blue, then comes to brown, green, ultimately, as you said, it becomes yellow. Now this reason is, which shows extravasation of blood, not washable. See, once it comes out of the vessel, extravasation means, otherwise the blood will be flowing in the vessel, isn't it? Now when you have beaten a person with a blunt weapon, what will happen? A small rupture of the vessel happens, not to a very great extent, but small the split will happen in the vessel. So always vessels also have the capacity of repair, as the liver has got the capacity of regeneration and replacement. So also the blood vessels, small little splits and all, it takes care, the body takes care of its repair. And then once the blood comes out, it cannot be dissolved immediately. It cannot be, once it comes out of the vessel, it cannot be dissolved and it cannot be washed so easily. Like we wash externally, if there is a stain of blood, we can wash and it goes away. But then this is internal, isn't it? The blood that has oozed out from the blood vessel, it cannot go out, it cannot escape from any other, because there is no open wound there. This wound is inside only. The bruises they are inside, they are not open wounds, isn't it? They are inside. And once the blood comes out of the vessel, it becomes extravasation, and there is no way that it can again re-enter the blood vessel, isn't it? Once it comes out, there is no reverse reaction that it can go inside the vessel, isn't it? So whatever blood that has come out, it has to gradually, it should flow with the, go with the flow. So that is the reason in the process, now the hemoglobin, when it is out of the vessel, it cannot retain its color for long. So it will be degraded, as you rightly said, bilirubin and all these, the products of hemoglobin they are. So as the hemoglobin gets dissociated or disintegrated, then you see the color gradually changing from red to yellow. And this is very, as it is not immediate, and this color change happens very gradually, and it has got a correlation with the aging of the wound. So by looking at the color, what color is the bruising, you can say how old is that wound. That also can be predicted from the color of the wound. And the phenomena involved is This is extravasation of blood. What we see as a bruising is the leaking of the blood from the blood vessel, isn't it? Now, since it cannot go inside again, so this is seen as, and it is also not washable. So you see the permanence of the stain present over the inside the body, and it should gradually only degrade, and then it becomes yellow, and then after that it doesn't leave any, unlike scars and all, it doesn't leave any what you call traces of that. Then scars, how are they different? When are they caused? Scar.
Third degree injury, burning injury. When it is
Scar can be not only due to burning, it can be due to anything, isn't it?
even electrical.
My point is that how will you, like bruises, we said intra leaking of blood.
Burning,
Uh,
when it is subcutaneous cells are injured,
uh.
that time the scar will come.
But do you think the formation of hair and all, will it be retained?
No, it will not be retained.
And scar is a permanent thing. You will not get any reversible. It is not reversible. It is irreversible.
It cannot be reversed.
Ah.
Cannot be reversed.
Bruisey can be reversed, but bruisey you will see after some time bruisey disappearing. But whereas scar is a permanent mark, and you don't see that. And scar itself will act as an identifying feature. If somebody has got a scar, permanent scar, which is skin deep, then it will leave its mark up to the up to what you call the dermal level, isn't it? We have different layers of skin, so it goes up to the layer of dermis. Now, do you think that there will be some sweat pores, there will be hair follicles and all? They are completely gone. Now you don't see any formation of, if there is a follicle, then even if hair is lost, if follicle is intact, there is again hair can be regenerated, isn't it? Now scar is such a wound that it has gone deep into the epidermis, hence you don't see in that area of scar any sweat pores being present there, or the hair. These two things will be not there. And it is a permanent phenomenon, irreversible phenomena, and it acts as an identifying feature for somebody. If you have a photo, and then if you say that this man has got a scar on the eyebrow, or near the nose, or near the mouth and all, and a similar thing if you see in the dead body, you can easily identify. That means it's a permanent phenomena, irreversible permanent phenomena, and then you don't see any sweat pores, or you don't see any formation, hair will be absent in such area. So that is the thing which you have to remember. I think we'll call it a day today, then most probably more about arson, because somebody also asked about fire, arson, then what patterns a fire is going to leave, and how can you assess the point of origin, how can you say that this is the area point from where the fire has propagated, isn't it? Now what is the causative agent for, is it some inflammable liquid, or is it some kind of a explosive that is being transported, or is it some electrical malfunction? So like that there may be a number of reasons. Now I'll also try to give an illustration, the case which we have done when I was the director of Forensic Science Laboratory, Telangana. Then there was a case, a very important case of Mahbub Nagar. A bus was burnt completely, and then there were a lot of speculations about what is the cause of failure, of what was the origin of fire, and what was the agent which was responsible for fire and all. And in that bus, almost 45 young software employees were traveling from Bangalore to Hyderabad, and in the wee hours, early morning hours, it has happened all of a sudden, and instantaneously the entire bus was burned to ashes, and the bodies in their sitting postures, all the persons who were sitting inside the bus, they were almost gutted, and then they almost remained just like skeletons, So lot of reconstruction has happened, and then we try to keep on eliminating the presence of liquids, inflammable liquids, presence of explosives and all. Initially it was thought that it is some handiwork of an extremist terrorist group and all, how we could eliminate, what kind of reconstruction work we have done and all. And tomorrow's class I'll, if possible with video and all, I try to explain. For today let us call it a day.
Okay, thank
Hope today's lecture is also little, it was useful. Huh.
Thank you.
And you are in receipt of the books?
No, madam, it is in the way, on the way, reaching us.
ठीक है, I have already given it to that others. You can collect and go through that book. This will give you a lot of insights into investment.